Testing. Besides Rudy Gobert, what is it you admire about the way Utah plays defense?
Well, I mean, their whole team, they're the number 2 in defensive efficiency, and Rudy gets a lot of the credit because his ability to protect the rim and his length, but it's not just him. All their guys are hard playing, and I think a lot of the credit goes to Quinn and their staff. They've done a terrific job, and I think any coach would love to have a team that is as efficient as they are in defense and plays as hard as they do. I mean, that's one thing you know about the Jazz. Every night you play them, they're going to play hard, they're going to play the right way, and that's the reason they're 11-4 in the last 15 games and on the verge of becoming having home court advantage in the playoffs.
Last couple times you played them, your team has had trouble scoring. How do you envision it going tonight with the new lineup, the December 15th lineup change?
Is that what we're calling it? The November? Okay.
Yeah, December 15th change.
All right. You go back to the first time we played them. We got Gobert in foul trouble, and Nurkic was a big part of that. We scored 54 in the paint. Last 2 games and losses in Utah, we were averaging 34 in the paint. You have to find a way to create tempo, create pace, and score easy baskets against them. If it is a half-court game, advantage Utah. That's simple. Last game there, obviously, big third quarter, they outscored us 33-16, and Gordon had 21 of those 33. So he got it going and showed why he is an all-star caliber player. But it takes 48 minutes. Utah is another one of those teams. They don't beat themselves. We have to value the ball, obviously a lot better than we did in Minnesota the other night. And we have to make sure we're getting out and running and looking to attack their defense before they get set.
Can you give us an update on just the availability of everybody tonight, Moutier, and what about the point guard minutes?
Yeah, Manuel will be out. Obviously his back is still bothering him, so there's no need to rush him back. Jameer will start at the point guard, but I will say probably the biggest positive coming out of the Minnesota game was Jamal Murray and the minutes and his play at point guard position. I thought he did a fantastic job out there, was aggressive, he rebounded, and looked to make plays. So another great opportunity for Jamal to get extended minutes at the backup 1.
Coach, you mentioned. Go ahead. Oh, I thought you had something.
Any other questions for Coach tonight?
Yeah. So,
all right, let's go. Just, since the December 15th since the December 15th lineup changes, Chris is calling it. I've seen the numbers, but what really in your mind has fueled it and allowed it to be that successful?
It really does start with Nikola Jokic. At that point in time, we moved him back to the position that he spent all of last season at, and he had a tremendous rookie season. And we made a concerted effort to put the ball in his hands. Low post, high post, elbows, let him push the ball in transition. And the assists, the efficiency, the scoring have just taken off. And it's become contagious. I think playing the right way on the offensive end of the floor, other guys are trying to get in the act, and they're all buying into it because everybody's involved. A fun way to play, and obviously a fun team to watch. Now the challenge is, can we become an average defensive team instead of a below average team? If we can just make that stride in the last 40 games of the season, I think we can be a playoff team.
How hard is it to evaluate things in this league? When you look at this series, Jazz were exhausted when they came together last time. You're on a back-to-back. They're fresh. How hard? You're playing 5-7 in Minnesota.
Right.
They're 3-4 tonight. How hard is it to evaluate what's really happening in this league because of the fatigue?
Well, that, and especially with this matchup, George Hill has missed, I think, 2 games. Favors hasn't played against us yet. Last time we played, Gallo didn't play. So there have been so many guys in and out of this. But obviously it's a division game. We have a chance to even up the season series 2-2. And that's something that we started out regular season. Hey, we have to be a lot better within our division. We only won 4 games last year in our division, but it's tough. As you mentioned, going to London was a long trip. We played well coming back, but because you only played the 1 game in a week, that's going to catch up with you at some point. And so what happens? You come right out of London, you have 5-7. But everybody goes through it, and obviously you have to use your mental toughness to fight through it and not use it as an excuse.
Your reserve ballot was due today. You want to share?
Yeah, I voted for Rudy Gobert. For all the Jazz fans out there. But yeah, my big guys I voted for were DeMarcus Cousins, Draymond Green, Rudy Gobert, Russell Westbrook, and Chris Paul in the backcourt. And my 2 additional players were Klay Thompson and Marc Gasol. So if anybody has a problem with that, you can tweet Chris Marlowe.
You changed your pick and roll coverage a while back, and you started overloading the strong side with a help defender, and that's hurt the 3-point percentage a little bit. You're still kind of middle of the pack, though. What you seems to be really getting killed on is reversing the ball and then guys driving.
Right.
Is there some point where you just kind of have to accept you can't make that rotation and change again, or are you just going to keep slamming on, we got to do this better?
I think a bigger issue, Matt, to be honest, is not so much the pick and roll, it's just the one-on-one closeout. You know, tonight you're going to see it tonight. They run the most pick and rolls in the NBA. So you'll see whether it's Joe Ingles handling, who's playing very well, Gordon Hayward, George Hill. They're going to play pick and roll with Rudy. He's going to roll. You're going to tag. They're going to skip for a drive and kick three. Now that's when your defense is tested. Can you close out and contain and close out and contest? To me, that's the hardest thing to do in the NBA. Close out to a great player with a live dribble. And that's where I think we have to make biggest strides, one-on-one defense. To your point, we've changed our coverages. We've been down the floor. We're more up the floor now. We're trying to get a little bit more aggressive. That means that you're going to unleash the roller a little bit more to the rim. But at the end of the day, you know, San Antonio, we had 16 blow-bys. You can't beat anybody if you're not containing the basketball one-on-one. And that's something that we're really trying to preach and harp on. Unfortunately, with the schedule the way it's been, you really have no practice time. So it's more film work and trying to cover things in a walkthrough, which is not ideal, but you know, which is what we have to do right now.
A lot of players will say the rim protector is the most valuable defensive player on the floor because of how he can deter guards and things like that. Kawhi's obviously a two-time defensive player of the year, but this year a lot of the conversation is Draymond, his versatility versus Gobert. I'm just kind of curious about your thoughts on what's more valuable, a pure rim protector or somebody who's so versatile like Draymond.
Well, I really do think it depends on your roster. If you have great defensive guards, you don't need a rim protector because you have guys that can contain. Obviously, our inability to contain, would it be great to have a shot blocker and a rim protector? Yes, it would. There's not many out there, but the way the league is going with a lot of small ball, a lot of spread lineups, and obviously I think Utah is number 2 in defensive efficiency behind Golden State. They have length, they have versatility, they can switch everything with Kevin Durant, with Draymond, with Iguodala. So I love the fact that if you could have 5 guys out there who could just switch everything and use their versatility, you can really bottle teams up. You know, but it's all preference and all what the other guys on your team bring to the table.